Hello and welcome. Good morning for you who live in the Nordic atmosphere of this earth. Welcome to my channel. I'm Irina Chapung and I call myself an intuitive coach, an alchemist, and a rainbow warrior. So I just checked my YouTube sessions, and that the last time I uploaded something was 6 months ago. That's a long time. And the explanation is I'm mostly at Instagram right now. So if you're interested in following me and my predictions, tarot predictions, and it's about predictions mostly. Sometimes just about self-development. I'm currently at Instagram mostly. So the reason why is I think like YouTube takes a lot more energy to upload, and usually I speak for like at least an hour when I upload sessions here. Also, the progress is slow. Honestly, I haven't dug into it properly how to reach out to people, on YouTube. And maybe will do that soon, but we'll see. I prefer Instagram because it's much lighter and it goes faster, and since I've been working a lot as well, and it's just lighter. It doesn't take as much energy as I upload pictures and I write down my guidance instead of speaking it out. So so this morning it's currently in Sweden where I live. It's currently 6:50 a.m. in the morning, so almost 7 o'clock, and I woke up actually 4:30. Yes, I've been waking up like for the latest 6 months, I think, maybe a little bit less, but I had problems sleeping in the morning. I always had that my whole life, but in some periods where it's extra stressful or where I'm concerned or when I have a lot of things going on in my mind, I tend to fall asleep easily as normal. I always have no problem falling asleep, but always waking up sometimes as early as 2 o'clock, but usually it's around 3 to 4 o'clock. And if I'm in like a stressful time in my life, as it's been quite stressful, or I have any problems or concerns at the moment, I have problem falling asleep again. Maybe you can recognize that as well. So actually also I have a tendency to drink a lot of tea. I stay off from coffee most of the time because I'm very sensitive to caffeine and white sugar and things like that. So I try to avoid that. And now I decided to be more strict with my health, and I stopped the tea as well for 1 week now. And I woke up like before 4:30 actually, feeling like, oh, I'm so awake. I feel like inspired to. My cat woke me up as well. He wanted to go out, so I let him out, and I felt like inspired to do a YouTube video at 5 in the morning. And then I felt all of a sudden after like an hour, I felt like tired and sluggish, and I had to actually, as I usually sometimes I consult my cards if a decision is wise or not, if I feel hesitant. So I consulted them. Should I do a tarot session today on YouTube or not? And they said clearly yes, 2 cards. So I feel like some energies and forces are working against me in this, but it's all about breaking that and strive towards your goals and strive ahead anyways, no matter if you face opposition sometimes in life. So right now I'm focusing on my health, and it was a very beautiful morning because it was very misty and foggy. It made me think about autumn, fall, even if it's still warm and hot outside, not hot but warm. It made me think about fall, and fall is coming fast now. I would like to show you a little bit outside here because it's still a little bit misty, I think. It's like, okay, really. It's sunny now. I don't know if you can see, but it's sort of foggy over there still. Very much low. water because it's been raining a lot later today. So when it's hot, like quite warm weather, like today in the morning, it gets foggy and steamy. Yeah, so I prepared my table as usual because I'm going to do predictions for August, September, and October. And bear in mind that this is a general reading. This is general readings and coaching sessions I do. So you should always use your own intuition and your I'm looking for a word. Anyway, use your own intuition because some of the messages might be for you and some not. So I will try also to divide it up so I give several messages about the same thing. So it gets more varied for you since you don't live the same life and you don't have the same destinies and goals in life. My little table here. This is the decks I'm going to use today. It's 2 decks actually mixed together, shamanic decks, and the psychic tarot, and this one, the Kipler deck. And I'm actually eating some healthy Swedish blueberries as a morning snack, and also some more chocolate over here. Yeah, so I'm proud. It has been easy because in periods when I've been drinking coffee, it's really, really hard to stop it because it gives such a kick. Just a moment. My alarm is on in another room. Just a moment. I don't think we need any light now because the daylight is coming. So sorry about that. Well, so where were we? Yes, I like to ramble a little bit and talk a bit before each session. And now because I haven't been uploading for like 6 months, that's a long time, but I felt completely lack of energy to upload and lack of inspiration as well to upload YouTube videos. Since, as I said, it feels like sometimes it steals a lot of energy, a little bit like an energy vampire, you know. But I always feel good after I do it. It feels like a little bit like doing your homework or doing this task at work that you don't feel so like inspired to do. You feel like you are doing a good thing, a positive thing, but it takes energy, you know. As I said, I'm on Instagram now at Irina Shapum. So if you are interested, you can follow me there. I upload frequently there. I already have like 80 uploads, and most of them are timeless readings, not for specific months and such. So you can pick and choose what speaks to you, and it will still give you the information you need in this now moment. Just going to read this. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that was a little bit of a rambling intro, and welcome again. I needed to like get into the mode. I haven't done this for so long, you know, and also speaking English is not common for me at the moment either. I don't do it that much at the moment. I actually not. So it takes a while for me to get into it. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to eat breakfast too, but I'm just going to have some blueberries while I'm getting into the zone. It's actually, this is like not American blueberries as we call it in Sweden, These are wild grown, and you get really, really blue. Like when you drink red wine, you get blue on your tongue and your teeth. It stains them, so you don't want to do this too much, maybe if you're going out after. But they are very healthy, and we have a lot of berries actually in the forest right now, a lot of blueberries in Sweden. Because we had a lot of rain, first a lot of drought and hot weather the first half of the summer, and now second half we had so much rain, heavy raining. Yeah, so let's begin. I'm just going to do, I'm begin because I don't like to prepare too much before I do a reading. I like to act on my intuition, my impulse when I feel like I have, yeah, this is a good time to do a reading about this. So I was just inspired, as I said, because of the misty weather to do readings from now, August, until September and October, end of October, like Halloween time. And first I was thinking, should I just do month by month, separately, just divide it, or should I just do everything in together, like more like a general mixed reading about what's coming up the next couple of months or 3 months, actually. I think I'm just going to start by pull some cards, and we'll see how it develops from there. Yeah, let's begin. We can have a short little meditation together. So I hereby invite protection for all of us, for me giving this reading to people who are viewing me now and in the future, and protection around them and around me, and only to invite the light and knowledge from for the greatest good of all. Positive inspiration. We invite positive inspiration from spirit, solutions to experiences that we might experience, like problems or negative occurrences in our lives. We invite high uplifting positive energy, high vibes, a positive mindset, and a positive interpretation of the cards that we will receive for this reading, and for the outcome and for the highest best of all, during this. So thank you, Spirit, and we are ready. So let's begin. I just going to start by not dividing the months, because I feel like time is fluid anyway. So what I begin with might be the end month for some, like October month for some of you. And what I end with in this reading might be what's going to happen next in your life. So it's different for all. So I invite you to, my purpose of working with coaching is to teach people about intuition and how to follow their own intuition. I started practicing this when I was a teenager, and it was so scary at first because I always felt I always been very, very heavy stuck in my ego, the third dimension, the 3D people, as we say nowadays. When we divide people into 3D and 5D, at least us New Age people, and yeah, I used to be heavy in the 3D, heavy in my mind, heavy in what other people's opinions are about me, heavy in what where I took a decision. I had to ask my parents what their opinions was, my friends. I didn't trust myself. The person I trusted least before I took a decision was myself. And that made me always feel weak and worried and disappointed. And also when the result didn't end up the way I wished or had planned or had hoped for, and it was because I followed my parents' advice or my friend's advice or somebody else's advice or what I thought was society's or the standard choice to choose, for example. I felt so like I let myself down every time, and a lot of time I was letting myself down with my thoughts and with my actions when I was young, actually. And I knew from a very early age that my mission on this earth is, because I always been spiritual and I always knew I had protection and that there is something more than this world. And I always felt a little bit disappointed and bored in this world the first years of my life. Actually, I used to remember waking up from every morning like, oh no, am I here? Because I was probably visiting my spirit realms where I come from in my dreams, like astral traveling. So I was always a bit disappointed. But actually, since I finished school and since I felt like I took destiny in my own hands and start living life more, I feel like life is an adventure, and I'm really thankful to live life here on earth. Yeah, it's a gift. Even if we experience negative or positive feelings or negative or positive experiences here on earth, we can see it as exciting. And as when we watch a movie, we watch movies where people are going through struggles, negative things that we would think was very scary ourselves to be going through, but still we like the thrill of watching other people go through this and coming out on the other side. So I invite you to do the same with yourself when things happen that scares you or throw you off your path, or things you didn't plan happens, or things that just comes as a surprise and it feels like more negative than positive. I just invite you to this feeling of adventure, that anything can happen, that you are an alchemist, you can steer anything and you can turn everything into something positive, because exactly everything in this earth has two opposites, like, warm, cold, love, hate, everything is like has an opposite side. So every time we experience something that feels scary, sad, or negative, there is a bright side to this. So if you always learn to figure out and focus on the bright side of everything and opportunities of everything that's going on in your life, even if you get sick, or even if you something happens with a relationship or a job, or um, you just have problem with your own way of sometimes we argue a lot with ourselves. We are our own worst enemy. So everything is there to teach us a lesson, and if we run from it, it will persist, it will stay with us for a long time. But if we are brave and we face it and we look at it like, what is going on, why is this happening, and what can I do about it, and what is, if you play with life and yourself like that, you will get more positive outcomes in life, and you will easier get through difficulties. So I use tarot cards and oracle cards as a way of helping myself development, and also helping you, people I coach. You can contact me if you want to know prices for 1-hour sessions at my email irinachapung@aol.com. If you are interested in knowing the prices, you don't need to, but if you're curious and you feel like you trust me and you want to try out a session, I might do a deal for you for the first session. Good price. The first cards that come up is whale song resonating. That's a really, really beautiful spiritual card, emotional card. It also speaks about soulmates that you have no matter what's going on in your life right now, because we are talking about from now until Halloween, as I said. Trust that you have support around you. This card represents support. It could be one, it could be several people. And it's also a really, really wise animal, the whale, large and wise in the ocean. Resonating, meaning that you are having you are either going to meet during this time, coming months, or you are already going to have support from people on your own energetic frequency, as I call it. People we feel like we vibe together with. We understand each other without speaking too much or saying too many words, and you feel like they always support you and uplift you instead of the opposite. By the way, if you are experienced people in your life that always bring you down, bring your dreams down, bring yourself down when you hang out with them, either by talking down on you for having your dreams or what you do at the moment, or even if they just always talk about themselves in a negative way that drags you down, you should really think about, is a relationship worth saving and keeping? Because we need to preserve ourselves, we need to preserve our energy, otherwise we will like, I used to be somebody who hang up with people like that to drag me down before, but I realized like I'm not helping anyone by doing that. By giving my energy to them, it's just making them codependent on me. And I feel guilty if I don't give positive energy to them. So it's a codependent relationship. They come to me for advice and support or whatever. Sometimes you have friends that just feel like they are better than you and they like to hang out with you because they feel like they can put you down, or they can feel like they can always compare and feel better with you, so they feel good in that way. But if you're in this kind of relationships, I think it's time for you to really think about what you think about yourself and your self-worth. And it's not really the people, the best people you can have in your life. I mean, a start is usually that you need to be alone before cutting these ties off, because it could be karmic, and it could also be that you are in a pattern of thinking low value thoughts about yourself, and then you attract people who gives you low value as well. For some it's in friendship, for some it's in love relationships, and for some it's both. And for some of you lucky people, you never had this problem, but I for sure have struggled with it since I was born. And I still struggle with it sometimes, but I'm quite good at recognizing what people to invest in and what people not to invest in. Although I'm very kind-hearted and I'm open-minded and I give everyone a chance. But for your own future's sake, for your dream's sake, for your happiness sake, you should really think about, are you hanging out with these people right now? Your soulmates, people who support you and value you. It doesn't need to be people who think like you, have the same religion as you, vote on the same political party as you, or enjoy the same lifestyle habits as you. That's a 3D way of thinking, like it have to be same for us to match. No, you might be the total opposite, even if you have the same religion or political views, or for example, I'm quite healthy and like exercising. So even if I hang out with people who are like that, it doesn't mean that we are soulmates. You know, I met many people like that feels like very far from me, because I feel like, sure, maybe their body is healthy, but I don't feel like they are very loving to me or to themselves, you know, and then it's not healthy. It's just an outside appearance. So you need to be healthy from the inside out, I think, or to be happy and to spread positive vibes around yourself as well. So this card promises that you will have these people around you the coming months, latest Halloween. Within 1 to 3 months, you will have more people like this around you that support you, encourage you, and that loves you for who you are. And if you are in the state, as I said, it's worth repeating. Take a look at your relationship right now, because if you keep negative relationship close to you, you also hinder more positive relationships to come and loving relationships to come into your life. So don't be scared to be alone. You don't need to make it dramatic. If some of you feel like, oh, I really have this person or several people that really gives me low vibes and make me feel negative about myself, or just bring me down, or in some way make me feel negative about life or myself or the world, then you don't need to be dramatic and say, okay, from now on I never want to speak to you again. I think it's a good thing just to first give people a chance also and say, always when I meet you, you speak about this or you talk to me like this, and it makes me feel like this. And if you are going to continue like that, I'm not going to want to see you as much, and be that close friend to you, because it doesn't make me feel good and it doesn't help me with my dreams in life and where I want to go. And if that's a scary discussion for you, scary talk, um, I don't recommend ghosting because that's coward and immature, I think. But I don't recommend ghosting, but you can, if you are too scared to take this talk. My cat is outside. I'll have to let him in. No, but you can just say, make up excuses the first times in order not to meet these people too often. And after a long time, they might get the point, stop harassing you, calling you, but I always think that you owe them an explanation of some sort, just a hint of that. Maybe you can say, I don't feel like we have that much in common anymore. I don't feel like we are as good friends as we were before, and I feel like I've changed, and I don't feel as good when we hang out anymore. You don't need to make it about them. But just a few tips, because I have broken relationships in my life. It's been friendships, but also love relationships. But when it comes to love, it hasn't been because that person doesn't love me or appreciate me. It's just been because I'm a person of evolution. And when I feel like something is stagnant for a long time and I don't feel any progression, I feel like we don't give in each other more. We have grown as much as we can together. It's time to move on. And I've always been friends with my ex-partners who I decided to part ways with. It hasn't been any hard feelings, and I'm proud of that. Meanwhile, I haven't had it so easy with girlfriends. Been a lot of jealousy, backstabbing, resentment, um, not supporting my dreams, negative talk, and usually it comes from them not believing in their dreams. So then you can't expect this person to believe in your dreams. Sometimes they can believe in others' dreams, but not their own. But usually they transmit their negative self-belief on other people that are close to them. So that's why also it's important to break off any relationships like that. I think, at least. It's up to you. I'm just going to let in my cat just a moment. Sorry about that. I thought he wanted to come aside, but he just wanted some of his cat, I call it cat cookies. I have it in this jar with Audrey Hepburn on it. Love her movies, by the way. Love the old movies. Interesting, I think. Go back in time. Ooh. Yeah, it's a bit chilly. I have the balcony open, but it's all right. Okay, so the first card was about soulmate relationship and friendships. Let's see. Let's take something else here. We take the Psychic Tarot card deck. So, Spirit, can you give my viewers here who's going to view this now and in the future some insight in the upcoming months up to Halloween? Advice, happenings, experiences. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Very interesting cards. The first card speaks of not being satisfied, discontent and boredom. Discontent and boredom. And that doesn't need to be like in general, like in life. This could be like a disappointment as well in a job or in a relationship or in a friendship, or it could be in life as general. Like for now, you're not feeling the vibe, you're not feeling like you don't feel any motivation right now. This could be at the moment, I think, because then it speaks about, because you're supposed to, it speaks about transformation. It means that you're actually going through a period of developing, changing, transforming, both inside and maybe even outside, if you, like me, focus more on health right now. Of course, you're going to see change in your appearance. Destiny. So it's destined for you to have this period of a bit of disappointment and boredom, because you are going through these changes that makes you celebrate, maybe together with others, as we see here, maybe with these soulmates we saw in the last card. A wish and a dream is coming true, or just like happy times with friends and soulmates. It could be further on if you are in this boredom state right now. It could be closer to even to October. But there is a positive change and transformation going on. So hang in there. And it's nothing you can do about it. It's sort of like, we can say karma or we can say destiny. It means like it's just meant to be in your life right now for things that you wish to come true, We don't realize that always, because as souls, we think that a dream life would be when everything runs smoothly, we get everything we want at the second we want it, and everything goes well for us. And then we wouldn't grow and evolve so much, because it's when we try our own wings and find solutions to problems and force ourselves to do things we are scared of. Maybe we get kicked out in the cold for some reason, and that's a metaphor, but then it forces us to take action that we wouldn't have taken otherwise. So that's why it's a good way to think like an alchemist, always positive. Wow, light. That's a beautiful card. So during this period, you're actually evolving and transforming to become in a higher awareness. You gain more wisdom, you gain more insights, you also gain more universal love energy. And it can also be that you are inspiring others. You are an inspiring guidance and light to others. So for light workers, this is just about the destiny cards. It might explain that your destiny is to be a light worker and to inspire people and to help them find their own path, not to follow the society norms and standards if that's not with their hearts, aligned with their heart. and dare to follow your own way in life, because we have before we are born onto this earth, we have our soul have plans, and we have a purpose, and we have ideas about what's going to go happen in our lives, and how we are going to handle situations and learn from them and progress and fulfill our life soul mission and destiny. And I believe in reincarnation. We live many lives to evolve and mature as souls. And I think for each life we have a slightly different plan, of course, even if I think all souls have a common thread, like a red thread. Maybe we are divided into different groups as well. So some people are more focused on environment, some people are more focused on peace on earth, and some people are more focused on living in health with our own bodies and with the nature and the animals and protection of that. And I mean, there's many different categories for this earth plane, where we can be divided into. Maybe some souls are into all of these things, but I think like we are actually guardians of earth, and we are supposed to wake up to the light and how to protect our environment and our earth and ourselves, and how to learn to live as a species in peace, because I mean, we are humans. And can you imagine how immature level we are at right now in our world, when after so many thousands of years we still see each other as enemies? We are all human race, different colors, different cultures, different countries, as we made up ourselves, basically. And we still have to kill each other and steal land from each other, and we still have to make rules and laws to force some people not to have anywhere to stay at all, which is not fair, because everyone who is born onto this earth deserves a space, deserves food from this earth. Food and a place to live shouldn't be something that you have to pay for, I think, and it shouldn't be something that you have to fight for or earn your right for. I mean, we are like like animals, and they also have territories. Honestly, they do, but we are also born with an intellect, and we should understand that more about peace than we are, and then the level we are at right now. I find it a little bit surprising. So the only solution to this is to go within and to work with ourselves and to make little things. Like if we can't make ourselves happy, how can we make the world happy? How can we make other people happy and make change for the better when we can't even change ourselves for the better? Yeah, that's why all wise masters and teachers, even Jesus, we always talk about mastering ourselves, always judging ourselves first, always focus on ourselves first. Like it's more about being a positive inspiration for others than to maybe go out and try to change the world and point finger at what is going wrong and what is wrong, before we learn how to master ourselves and be happy and do acts of kindness ourselves and be fair ourselves in our acting, in our living. Yeah, so we have some interesting cards. It's about soulmates, relationships, getting together with people who are at our frequency, who understands us easily. We don't need to over-explain ourselves. We don't need to look crazy for them. We don't need to be judged negatively by them, because they are our soulmates. They understand us. We are working maybe for the same purpose as souls, or we are just at the same energy frequency. As I say, it hasn't got to be shallow. Like, for example, I feel like two of my soulmates, of course, are my ex-husbands, and they are from Morocco and Albania. And I felt so close with them. Like we could talk, like have deep discussions and agree about the state of the world. And I felt like they were kind-hearted. I'm kind-hearted, so we really clicked on the heart-based level, of course, as you often do in love. So it wasn't shallow relationships. So I'm very thankful for them. Also friends I met all over the world, and I'm still in contact with today, and some that I'm not in contact with today. I still have them in my heart, and I feel as thankful and close to them anyway, because we had that meeting once in a time, and we had these discussions and we talked about things that felt like we understood each other and we learned from each other, and we felt like, yeah, even if we are from so different countries and cultures, we are understanding each other and we experience the same things and the same problems, and you know, sorry. Yeah, so the last card is about life. It's about soulmates. Are you in the right relationships right now? Transformation. You feel a bit bored. You feel a bit like life isn't what you expected at this point, or you are, for some reason, you are not content at this point in time. But it's your destiny not to be, because then you will make changes, or you will be forced to make changes that transforms your life and yourself into a higher light and awareness, and also to be an inspiration for positive change, because actually most humans on this earth needs to go through this progress, usually several times, because we just don't change once and then it stops. We are constantly evolving, and the evolution is constant, so we can always be more light, always have more light, more wisdom, more knowledge, and we're getting more and more connected to what some people call God, or I call like universe or spirit, because it's like you can't really explain it, but for me it's like a loving, intelligent and loving energy that surrounds us, and that is inside everything, even things we call evil. This thing is in everything, and it reflects in everything. And if we focus on that, it's easier to deal with things and know how to handle things in a correct way, because, for example, things that we say are evil, it's not clever to fight it with evil, is it? Like today we have a world where murderers and killers get punished by getting murdered themselves, which is not really setting us free from karma. Opposite, it just creates more karma. So yeah, let's move on. I felt like I've been speaking for such a long time. I usually speak for 1 hour. Do we have 20 more minutes? About 20 more minutes, 17, but not exact. Okay, Spirit, what more do you have to say about to us people viewing this channel? What's going to happen? What's advice for them? What advice do you have for them for upcoming months from now up until Halloween? This card has several meanings. Fertility, the first thing we think about is pregnancy. And for women who wish to be pregnant, it's about that. It's moving on, come up after this. But it doesn't need to mean that. It can mean that, doesn't need to be that because I pull one card, it's going to be follow-up. I mean, it has anything to do with the order of them, but moving on and fertility, meaning like it can mean several things, as I said. For women who get pregnant, it might signify that if you have experienced a miscarriage, you are being able to move on from it. And don't worry, you will get more chances to be pregnant and to have a child. And for some, fertility might be creation of relationships, creation of a business, for example. And then it might mean that moving on might not mean moving on from something. It might mean actually moving to and take the first steps, make moves towards your creating this new business. Take steps towards creating your new business. And fertility is like a creative card because it's creation. If it's getting pregnant, if it's being creative, creating your own artworks, or something to do with starting your own. I mean, getting together with people, starting your own business, or I mean, it's creation, collabing. It could be by yourself. It could be together with others, as we saw in earlier cards. Time for celebration together with others. Taking the steps to that. For some of you, you need to move on from something that's keeping you back from creating something new. It could also mean that. So move on from the burdens of the past, relationships, workplaces, things that didn't give you anything good, or maybe it did at that time, at that point in time, but not anymore. So just let go of thoughts about the past, and it will be easier to create new, what you wish for. Because fertility is to create dreams, to create new, to getting ideas into action until manifestation. Manifest ideas, as I said, it could be like business ideas. It could be anything that you're thinking about, actually, that you want to create or that you want to have as a dream and that you need to put together. That's coming up, but it could also mean just the period of fertility is coming up. As soon as you move on from something, a relationship or negative thinking or something, you need to leave something in the past. Maybe these feelings of boredom and discontent. Then the creation process starts and the fertility process. So you will be able to get manifestation of your dreams once you let go of this boredom, these feelings of I was talking about that come up again. So it has to do with that. Okay, so this fertility card has mostly, for most of you, not to do with pregnancies, but the state you have been in. You haven't been happy, you have been numb, maybe you haven't been feeling strong feelings, you have been bored, discontent. You haven't been happy with your life or your result. You probably achieved so much already. You should be proud of yourself. But sometimes we just feel like we get into a period where we are not happy about anything. We are not proud over anything. We feel like we are getting nowhere. And that's what I feel this card represents. And then they say, well, once it's time to let go of these thoughts now, because once you let go of these thoughts, negative thoughts and feelings, you get into creation mode to start making yourself proud again and to creating this life and that you really, really want. Yeah, same card again, moving on. So that's when spirit repeats the same card over and over again, like now. 2 times we got moving on, 2 times we got discontent and boredom. It's very clear that for many of you that's going to watch this session, it's about a state of low frequency, low energy, negative thinking, maybe a little bit depression. Different kinds of low vibes that you aim towards yourself with your feelings, with your mind. That stops you from fertility card, creative card, to feeling this abundance, to feeling this happiness, positive feelings, and to start take action towards new and better. And actually, for many times, it's been like that for myself as well. And I heard this from other motivational speakers as well, that the way to get away from this feeling of discontent and boredom is not to wait it out. It's not to sit there in your mind and think about how to get away from it. It's to start taking physical action to do things. Even if you don't feel motivated, the motivation comes as you move. As physics law says, movement creates energy. I think it's an Einstein quotient, or I don't know how to say it in English. I studied science in school, but it's energy equals movement times 2 or whatever. It's because we create electricity, for example, by a lot of machines that makes movement. Since the old days, it was wheels and different things that created electricity together. And the same is with our bodies and with our mind and our emotions. Even if you don't feel any energy right now, it's completely dead. Once you, for example, go out for a walk in nature, exercise is for me an easy way to get out of this mode. It could be to exercise. It could be to, if you are a creative person, to go on the computer and maybe play a video game. Or if you are a creator of music, create music, play music. If you are a creator of some kind, author, artist, painter, singer, once you do what you lack motivation of in this moment is when you gain it back. You just need to start doing it without the energy that you wish for. And even if it feels like very, very hard to begin. I actually had that feeling a little bit for this YouTube video before I started. I felt like it's been a long time. I didn't feel really motivated to do it. Yeah, the first hour when I woke up. That's why you are usually in a good mood when you wake up, you have high energy, creative energy. But after 1 hour when I hadn't started, it started to wane, and I had to ask my tarot card, is it because I shouldn't do it today, or is it just because I'm getting in my lazy mode? And it was my lazy mode, because it showed 2 cards like, yes, you should do this. You need to do this. And it's also a way for me to getting out of that limbo from not uploading on YouTube and thinking it takes energy, because it's something in my mind too, saying like, I feel like it takes energy, but afterwards I feel always quite good that I done it, and I hope it will help one or several of you, in one or many ways. So let's continue. What's going on in people's life right now up to Halloween? What advice do you have, Spirit? More than you already gave us. Wow. Suffering in silence comes up. Suffering in silence. That's not a worry card for you to think like you will be suffering in silence. This is actually what you've been doing. Maybe a part of why you are in that boredom mode. Because you have been keeping quiet about the pain you have inside. Maybe you carry pain from disappointments. Maybe all this negativity or all this things that are holding you back, you might need to talk with someone about this, one or several people. Just unload it, let it speak from your heart to a person that you trust. Won't give you more, because if you, maybe sometimes when we open up to the wrong person, they give us more burdens, more headaches, or what to say. They make us feel worse. So choose somebody that you trust and that you feel are like family to you, or that you feel like are very, very close friend. Or you don't need to feel like you are putting a burden on the person, because this kind of card shows me that you are a person who rarely speaks about your problems. You are usually suffering in silence. And maybe it's because you are too proud to admit that you have problems or you struggle with something. Especially men have these problems when it comes to speaking about emotions or mental problems. Women, we are more used to speaking and talking from our heart and with each other about things that happening in our lives and disappointment with relationships or work or health or other problems, while men tend to feel it's more shameful and a man should be able to take care of his own business. It's a little bit of the macho culture, so to say. So if you are a man as well, don't suffer in silence. It's no point, because everyone goes through this. And I'm sure that if you feel really, really insecure, I would advise you to speak to another woman about it, because we women are mostly more empathetic and better at giving advice maybe than men, because men are usually more mind-based than heart-based. And if you are suffering like this, maybe you need somebody who's connected to their heart, to speak to somebody who's connected to their heart. Sure, men are too, some, but it's more common that women are actually. And we also live in a man-dominated world and logic-dominated world. So we are not encouraged to live and come to workplace and use our heart, because we're supposed to think about money, production, performance. That's all masculine traits and energies. So yeah, if you are feeling that this, speak to someone. You can choose a professional if you can afford it, but it's not necessary. Usually it's just enough by talking to a family member or a friend, or sometimes even somebody that you don't know, but you meet them in a moment in time and you start talking and you feel it's the right time to bring it up. And I got a lot of spontaneous help and encouragement to people, especially when I travel, because I've been single a lot in my adult years and I've been traveling a lot by myself. And I got really, really good advice and surprising connection with people that I don't know and necessarily not have contact with today. Some I have, but not everyone. All of them I have met. And they given me just exact loving encouragement I needed for that moment. And sometimes it's easier to open up and to people that you don't know than to people that you know. Because you think that people you know have expectations of you, how you should be, and that you should be so perfect and successful. So you might struggle to open up to people that you know about problems. So if that's the case, maybe you should try to talk to somebody that you don't know, but you feel trust in. Yeah, so that's one advice to get out of this rut. It's time to move on, at least it says. Destiny and spirit. Oh my God, this is the third time I get a repeating card, suffering in silence. Yeah. So if when I repeat this, and if you are watching this, if you, or it's probably more than one, recognize yourself in this. Spirit really wants to give that message out clear. It's time during these 3 months. It will be different for each and all of you how long it takes, but between now, from 5th of August until Halloween, end of it's October 31st, I think, or 30. I don't remember. 30, I think. No, I think 31st. Last October is Halloween. So from now, 5th of August to 31st of October, it's time to get into fertility mode, to leave this old stagnant feeling of boredom, disappointment, and maybe a little bit depression. Talk to someone. You will find more like-minded people to hang out with if you haven't already, and you will end up. For some, it will be a little bit longer than Halloween, but it's somewhere in between from now and 3 months ahead, that you will go from this transformation through little bit of low frequency energy. Maybe it's temporary for some of you because you got stuck in a rut, or maybe it's been for many years for some of you. But it's time now to take action to get out of it. One advice was to speak with a friend or several professional maybe, and also to start taking action. It will get us out of this energy, like for example exercise, walking, start doing things, going to work even when you don't feel like it. Most of us have to anyway because we have bills to pay. Okay, so now it's been 1 hour already, so I will see the finishing cards from here. Okay, so what can we expect, Spirit, after this energy transformation has happened? What can we expect after this energy transformation? Then it will be like turning a leaf on a page. Turning the leaf of a page, like next chapter. Fortune's wheel, luck and right timing, destiny. It will be a shift in your life, positive shift, where you take life as it comes. Like it won't be like a drastic thing. It will be more like you get into a mode of being excited and happy and childlike about life again, feeling more positive and more like this curious, adventurous, childlike spirit. And you will be also empty all these things that have been keeping you stuck up to here with negative thinking and feelings and all of this. If you remove that, which you will during this period, you will learn new. You will be like a hollow bone. You will be filled with new and positive energies, teachability. You will be ready to receive new, and you actually going through evolution, and you will start living life and learning in a new way, and maybe being with different people. And right now also Spirit says that a vanishing mirror, ego sublimation, that's it's two interpretation of this card. I will finish off with this. It's if you see a lot of negative things around you at this moment, it's because of your feelings and your thinking that you have on the inside. Because once we are, for example, if I describe when we are in love, we only see the positive around us. We don't think about wars. We don't think about hate, or we don't think about somebody who says something mean to us anyway, because nothing can take us down from that cloud when we are in love, So this is about understanding this, that what you experience right now on the outside, what you focus on, what you see, if you constantly see things that makes you feel worse, it's because you attract it, because on the inside you are creating it by thinking maybe negatively and also making you feel negative, and then you will only spot negative things around yourself, even though it's just as many or more positive things going on. So think about that. You choose your experiences and for how you want to experience things. It's also vanishing mirror, it says, meaning that you are leaving the ego behind also. You're learning how to stop letting the ego control you and making you scared to take steps ahead and to go forward in life and to make different choices and to, as I said, maybe talk to somebody about your feelings. The thoughts you had about yourself will transform. People won't see you any less because you admit that you are like everyone else. You have problems, you have feelings, you can feel trapped. People won't punish you for that. The opposite, you will realize that that's something that's normal. Every person experiences this many times during their lives. Even the most successful people experience this. Maybe they experience this more than others, because a measurement of success is also people who have been struggling, working hard despite many failures and disappointments in life. They have been making themselves stronger and more unbeatable. that has taken them to success in the end. So that's a way to look at successful people in a positive way, that they are really, really that kind of person who've been going through a lot of struggles, but refuse to let it stop them. Because for some people, it makes them give up. Like, yeah, I knew I would fail at this. I know I'm a failure. I know I wasn't good at this. I know this person didn't love me anyway. I know, if you think like that, it's easy to give up and stop working towards what you really want. But then you lost, you lost for yourself. You want to keep on raising higher in frequency. So if you leave your pride behind, you will experience a new bliss and a new sense of self, and you will actually feel more successful through breaking ego barriers, because ego thinks like, for example, like you will lose power, or you will be looked down upon, or if you admit that you have these problems and you go and speak to someone. But it's the opposite. You will feel empowered, you will feel reinforced, and you will feel relieved and happy that you did it, and you feel like you've grown and learned something. And so that's what I recommend you to do. So I hope I will have more positive energy around uploading on YouTube. Because I feel like now when I've done it, I feel more and more energetic again. Before I felt like a bit drained. Like when I thought about doing it, I felt drained immediately. But now I feel like I've broken this barrier. Like I'm more in creation mode right now. So maybe I will upload on Instagram too. So remember, I'm also on Instagram at Irina Chapon, same name as this channel. So for some of you, it's nighttime right now. If you are, for example, in America, and for Europe and north part of this world, it's the north part of this world, it's morning and daytime right now. So 8 o'clock soon, 7:56. I can do a little short ending, meditation ending. I can use a crystal for it too, just for a little bit of fun. I have this Afghanite and this actually too, but I don't remember what it is. I think it's quartz. Is actually found by private people in a stone market I was in. It's quartz together with some smoky quartz maybe, or something, I don't know. So I will do this. So thank you, Spirit, for today's session. Thank you for the information we received today. And thank you for highlighting some issues here that we need to deal with. And I would like to end this session with filling up us with light again, energy, positive energy, light, inspiration, courage, and strong belief in ourselves, strong self-love, love towards ourselves and others, believing that we will manifest our dreams and desires, and that we can and we will. And also protection. And I ask for protection for everyone, animals, plants, nature, and us human race. Everyone has free will, but I ask for our protection and for our highest best. Thank you for receiving the beautiful energy from Cosmos and from this Mother Earth Gaia. We can take a few deep breaths. So thank you so much and have a great weekend. Peace, blessings, and namaste. And see you in next session. Bye bye. Or at my Instagram. Bye bye.